Well, you are definitely going to be glad you watched this video. You are not going to believe this. Let's get started. Well, I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet and to the point and cut out all the BS. So the other day, my buddy Steve Shaheen and I did an unboxing of the Crab Marcus, okay? And we did a playthrough, dial in the whole spiel. So I spent some more time with it between then and now, and I really got this thing dialed in really well. That was more of a handshake, get to know you kind of thing with the amp, but I've spent a little more time with it. Like I said, I got this thing dialed in really well now. But all that being said, even though it sounded really good in that video, a lot of people, including myself, are wondering, does it really sound like an authentic Mark II C+? Well, we're going to find out today. I have the JP Mark II C+ here, and I'm going to shoot out the Crab Marcus, which is based on the Mark II C+, against it and just see how close they are. So I'm going to start with the overdrive pedal on, and don't worry, Boost Karens, I will turn off the overdrive later on in this video and compare them without the overdrive as well. So the overdrive I'm using right now is the Mud Killer, and let's just see how they compare right now. So pay attention to this part of the screen right here. If you see the JP there, that means I'm playing that. If you don't, that means I'm playing the Marcus. So here are the settings on the Marcus, and they're very close to the settings on the JP. Just keep in mind that the tolerances on all the knobs and on the faders here, you know, in the graphic EQ, are slightly different between the two. They're very close, but there's some slight differences with them. So just keep all that in mind regarding settings and everything. So let's start with the riffs right now. Again, I'm boosting with the Mud Killer, and let's just see how they compare. Dude, that is very, very close. So one thing to note, you have two gain knobs in the Marcus, okay? So you have this one, and you kind of combine them. You have one gain knob in the JP. So what I did notice is the Marcus has slightly more gain, even though the knobs are a little lower than where the JP is. It's just the way it is, okay? So I could back this gain down a little bit. I mean, it's probably going to be very accurate as soon as I back it down, but I'm just trying to make this a quick video for you guys. So if you want less gain, turn the freaking gain down. But I think this sounds pretty much identical. You know, there's very, very, very little difference between these regarding sound and feel. They feel like the same amp to me, and they sound like the same amp to me. Sometimes amps can sound the same, but the feel is way different. With these, it's pretty much identical. You know, in fact, I have to give a slight advantage to the Marcus because there's a little more gain in there, and I'm a gain fanatic, so maybe it feels a little better to me because of that. You know what? Just for the freaking hell of it, let me turn down the gain a little bit for all the nitpickers out there. So I'll turn that down, and let's do that same riff again. I mean, pretty much identical. I'm blown away. I really am. I mean, who would think that what did this amp cost me? It's like $700, I'll just say $750, okay? $750, and then I had to pay shipping on it, so whatever. So about $750 on this amp, and it's keeping up with an amp that's 3,500, something like that. I mean, that is insane. It really is. Completely different, you know, transformers too. This has the the donuts, toroidal, whatever you want to call them, turtle transformers, whatever. You know, all you nitpickers can take me to task on that. But it has those in it, and there's a lot of other companies that use them. I know Red 7 uses them in their power amps, and oh, I always forget the other name of the other company, but they use them as well, and I'm sure there's some other ones. But all that aside, I mean, this thing sounds incredible. So let's do another common riff that's known for being played through these amps and just see how they compare with that. Identical. I mean, this is insane, man. This is freaking insane. So this little $750 amp is keeping up with a $3,500 amp right now. You know, I mean, that is crazy. That is absolutely freaking crazy. You know what? I'm going to turn off my cab picture. You already know what cab I'm playing through. It just keeps blocking the picture every time I change the amp. But what do you guys think so far? I think it sounds freaking incredible. And again, the feel is amazing. Like, if you blindfolded me, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference at all. You know, so let's just see how they compare in a short little mix here. So let's you know, start off with the crab, and then we'll switch to the JP. So again, they sound pretty much identical. Just a touch more gain in the crab. So, I mean, it is what it is, you know. I mean, you just got more headroom with the gain on this amp. So if you want more, you can definitely get it. I mean, I have the gain here and here. So combined, that's where it's at. So you do get more gain on this amp. So I think this will easily keep up with channel 3 on the JP, which has even more gain than channel 2 does, as we all know. But all that being said, this is built to clone an actual, you know, old school Mark II C+, not the JP. The JP has more features and more channels and whatnot. So anyways, I just thought I'd point that out. So now let's move over to the next section where I turn off the boost pedal. So all you boost Karens are going to be so freaking happy, you know. So here are the settings. I haven't done the thing yet where you crank the treble on both amps to get that tighter, you know, aggression in the high gain channel, but I'll leave them as they are right now. Then I'll dial them both in without the boost to make them sound more aggressive. I just want to see how they compare in these settings. So let's try that. freaking identical. I mean, no difference at all as far as I'm concerned. All right, so now I'm going to do the thing. Let's crank the treble, lower the bass all the way down. I'll keep the middle where it's at, and I'll do the same on the JP. All right. Now let's see how they compare. So in this part of the shootout, where I crank the treble to tighten up the amps and make them more aggressive, I would have to say that the JP has a slight edge at this point, okay? It's not a huge difference, but it is noticeable. It's a little more aggressive and a little easier to play and a little gainier, if I could use that term. So let's see if we can fix that. I'm going to try to get the crab a little more aggressive without the boost and by messing around with the EQ here. So let's see what we got. All right, I hit the bright switch, and that seemed to add a little more bite, and then I turned the gain up just a hair. So let's see how they compare now. That evened them out. So that bright switch adds that bite I was looking for. So yeah, I'd say they're about 99%, you know, close to each other at this point. So yeah, very freaking cool. Oh my God, this is insane, dudes. Let's play a few more riffs. Let's do those similar riffs again between the two and just see how they sound with like the Metallica and the Dream Theater stuff. Very similar, but I think the JP still, even with these changes that I made, has a little more aggression. Again, no boost. I'm just dialing it in without a boost with the most aggression. The JP has a slight bit more aggression and a little more response, but it's pretty negligible for most people. I'm just kind of splitting hairs for you guys here. But it is something that I noticed, but it's not something that would steer me away from the crab because, let's face it, I boost all my amps. So I would back all this stuff down and have the amp boosted anyway, so I don't really give a shit about all that. I'm just doing this for people who are just curious about these settings between the two amps. So let's do one more riff and then we'll move on. It's damn close. I mean, it really is. So, I mean, tone-wise, I think there's very negligible difference between the two. And keep in mind, like I said earlier in the video, like these knobs and faders on this amp are going to vary slightly. So I might have these set up pretty much the same way, but maybe if I want, let's say if you wanted this to match the JP more and you're leaning towards that tone, I'm sure you can get it. You just have to move the knob slightly in other directions. But like I said, in the room here with my in-ears and everything, it's negligible regarding the difference in tone. There's probably some nuance there that you guys are going to bring up, and that's fine. But I would say for the price, I mean, this is pretty damn good, you know, it really is. And somebody said something in the video I did the other day with Steve, and that was a really good comment. I can't remember the guy's name, sorry. But he said, you know, for that price, you could buy, you know, if you already have a JP or a Mark II C Plus or whatever, you could keep that and then buy this, and this could be your road dog. You know, you could take this out on the road and not worry about your studio queen getting the crap beat out of it. So that's actually a good option. It really is, or a good backup amp, you know, that doesn't cost you the same amount of money as the original. So I think I think it's a really cool option for people. And this thing is super light. It's really freaking light. It's so light that even a Boost Karen can carry it around with one arm. And that's pretty good. You know, that says a lot. So where am I at here? No boost pedal. Let's just do a quick, I'm just going to do a quick mix on with this amp with no boost. I won't do the whole song, just a portion of it. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty close, man. I'm really impressed with this amp. I really am, especially considering the price. So now let's do something else. Let's do the clean channels. So turn the drive off there. And so keep in mind, the JP has its own individual EQ and everything on the clean channel, where this is kind of a shared thing, which is kind of the way it is on Mark IIs, you know, the old Mark II C Pluses. So I'm going to see if these same settings carry over into the clean channel really well. I got all the effects off. I'm going to use my, you know, coil tap here, and I will compare them now and just see what they sound like. Okay, so I have the JP clean channel dialed in to be, you know, clean and lush and all that happy crap. This was dialed in for the heavy tones, and then I just switched over to the clean mode, you know, with this switch here. You just turn the drive off, you know. So let me dial this in better so I can come up with, you know, a better sounding clean channel to compete with the JP, okay? So here we go. That sounds freaking awesome. So I just hit that rhythm 2 switch down, and then I could turn the gain back up. So maybe that foot switch has something to do with that. This guy right here, okay? I haven't hooked it up yet, messed around with it. I've been kind of busy with other things, but I'll dive a little deeper into that for you guys. But what I will say is that is an amazing clean channel. So now let's compare them. I don't know if the volumes are leveled, so don't judge it by the volume. Just listen to the tone, okay? Okay, I just took a second and volume matched them quickly so you can hear the difference. I don't think they sound exactly the same, but I can tell you this, if I spent more time on the clean channel on the Crab, I guarantee you I could get it damn close. I can already tell. There's just a lot of switches and options and stuff like that on here, and I know I can get this to sound even closer to the JP, or I can make it possibly even sound better. It seems like there's more tonal options here regarding the clean channel, at least. I mean, there's a lot of switches and different things that you can engage or disengage to make it sound different. So it seems like it's a little more flexible on the clean channel. But the main reason why you guys are watching this video is you want to see how the high gain channels compare. And I can tell you right now, this amp is 100% legit sounding. I mean, I would totally tell you to get one right now. Save your money, get one of these. It takes about 2 months to get it, but I think it's built well. I mean, the ToneX looks amazing. I mean, in person, the ToneX is even better than what you see on camera here. And it just looks killer. It's a decent build. I haven't had any issues with it. This thing got stabbed. This thing got stabbed on the way here. There was a big hole in the box, and something poked through and knocked one of the tubes out. And we put it back in. And I was like, oh man, I hope this thing isn't going to be all screwed up. And it's operating perfectly. It's operating absolutely fine. I mean, it came all the way here from Ukraine and survived the trip. So that was really impressive. And for an amp this price, you'd think it wouldn't survive, but it did. So if you're in the market for a Mark Series type amp, this is a really good option for you. I mean, you're going to save a ton of money. You know, you're going to save around, I don't know, $2,500 by getting one of these, you know. I mean, that is insane. But this thing is incredible. I mean, it really is. And you can pick your front panel. You can pick the color of the control panel here, the ToneX, the whole deal. And I think he builds them really well. And I'll put a picture of the build up on the screen here for you to check out, you know. So I really can't say enough good things about this amp so far. I think it's freaking amazing. And I'm going to be playing it in tonight's show while we're live at 7. So hopefully you'll tune in for that. Anyways, well, a link to his Instagram is below. That's how you get a hold of him. There's no like, phone number or whatever. Just go to his Instagram and send him a message and, ask him some questions. You can order from him there. And that's how I did it. And he sells a lot of different type of clones too. He's got Soldano clones. He's got all kinds of different clones you can check out. Marshalls, diesels. And if they're as good as this is, man, I think this is a great way to go for you. I'm not trying to steer you away from buying from the original companies. All I'm saying is, if you can't afford amps like that and you want to get something that's really close, this is a good option for you. Or if you already have one of those amps but you don't want to take it out on the road to get all beat up, I mean, this is also a really good option for you. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please subscribe if you did. Give me a like. I would really appreciate it. It's weird. I looked at the stats on my last video and I got a ton of views on it and only 11 subscribers. That was kind of strange. I mean, if you like what I do here, subscribe, man. It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost you anything to like my video either, so I'd really appreciate that because I got a lot more stuff coming up for you guys. I mean, what I do here is I give you honest demos of gear, shootouts and stuff like that, and I try to show you some really good options that are available on the market, just like this one. You know, you're going to save a ton of money just by watching this video and getting something like this. So subscribe to my channel if you want more information like that. Well, to everyone who's been purchasing my Quad Cortex, Nano Cortex, KEMPER, ToneX, and NAMM preset and profile packs from my website, also linked below. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys. It really helps keep the channel going. And to all my Patreon supporters and subscribers, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys. And if you're new to the channel and you like what I do here, please subscribe and click the bell so that you can be notified every time I either go live or come out with a new episode. I got a lot more stuff coming up for you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.